Welcome to our presentation of WebCAP, the Web Conferencing Acquisition Project. This project was specifically designed to meet organizational needs at the Riverside County Office of Education in Riverside, California.
Over the past few years, various groups, divisions, units within the Riverside County Office of Education, where I work, have begun using a variety of web conferencing tools, both free and fee-based. This has been problematic for the IT department, which has been unable to support all the tools individuals have selected. Some of the tools being used are not ADA compliant or lack certain security features, which has meant that the IT department either hasn't supported or has blocked them from use within the internal network. The current scenario of multiple tools being used has led to confusion among client districts, which in turn prompted my boss, the Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, to ask me as the Director of EdTech to investigate and purchase a web conferencing solution that would be used by all staff for virtual professional development.
The scope of the WebCAP includes not only identifying a tool to be used throughout the division, but to purchase, deploy, and manage the tool selected with stakeholder input. In addition, the project needed to include professional development in a variety of formats that will support all staff in full and successful implementation.
There are many stakeholders whose needs must be met with the selected web conferencing application. The Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services expected the selected application to be cost-effective and user-friendly. The Director of Educational Technology Services was looking for a tool that would be easily deployed with existing reference materials to use in professional development conducted by his coordinator. The IT department added some technical constraints for the selected application. The program managers and professional developers, who will be the primary users of the selected tool, required multiple concurrent sessions for groups of up to 100 participants each, so that scheduling issues between the groups did not erupt. Feedback from client districts was simply that standardizing on one tool would be helpful, as it would be easier for them to ensure compatibility of their systems. There were also some significant constraints imposed on this project. The maximum budget for the selected web conferencing application was $5,000, which had to cover sufficient licenses for multiple concurrent sessions and hundreds of participants. The timeline for implementation was short, with deployment of the application and professional development beginning by June 2014. Finally, the Information Technology Services Department set several technical parameters for the selected tool, including security, plugin, and ADA compliance expectations.
Phase 1 of the WebCAP involved stakeholder input and evaluation of various tools. Primary users, such as professional development staff, were surveyed as to their key requirements in a web conferencing system. Stakeholder input meetings, which included client districts, were held to gather input as well. Phase 2 of the WebCAP involved the actual procurement and installation of the selected web conferencing application. This included setting up accounts and coordinating with technology services to install necessary plugins on end-user devices. Phase 3 of the WebCAP is just now beginning, with educational services staff being trained in Blackboard Collaborate as they are designing their virtual professional development using the web conferencing application. Professional development is offered face-to-face and online, and just-in-time support is provided by the Education Technology Services Coordinator and Director as well. While project monitoring and evaluation has been going on constantly since the project was initiated, there will be a specific monitoring and evaluation phase next spring to look at the success of the implementation and to make recommendations about ongoing subscriptions and support. The project manager meets bi-monthly with the Assistant Superintendent of Education Services and with the Director of Information Technology Services. At least once per month during the project year, the project manager will provide a status update relative to the project objectives and the quality assurance plan.
We chose to use Asana as our project management tool. We like Asana because it is a free, collaborative, and easy-to-use project management tool. All members of the project management team have access to the project in Asana, and we are able to track both their individual assignments and progress of the project as a whole through this web-based application. As tasks are accomplished, those team members primarily responsible will check them off as complete. Asana collects all project management documents and emails within the system, so it is a helpful tool for tracking both progress and communication among team members. Tasks can be tracked through the Asana calendar, and items tagged as professional development will be synced to the organizational Google Calendar of events. So in our example, this is our WebCAP project in Asana, and you can see all the tasks have been laid out, and they each have specific due dates. You can see that some of these, though they've been accomplished, have not been marked as done yet. So as you would go through and say, okay, we did produce a list of stakeholders. I did have my secretary, Casey, invite all of them to a meeting, and so I'm checking this one off as complete. I also did have a conversation with our IT department, and so that is checked off as complete as well. You can assign specific tasks to specific people within your group, so they get that message and they check in the web application to see any details associated with it. They can also check the calendar, which is populated with the things that are done and still need to be done. So that was our choice for how to use a project management tool online to keep this project moving forward. So we learned several things doing this project. The most important learning in this project was that using a project management process did indeed improve the workflow. It allowed me to better predict possible barriers and to have a plan in place to overcome those barriers. Designing this project using a more comprehensive project planning model provided an unexpected benefit. I now have the resources and documentation I need to present to Cabinet and the board, and I can tell at a glance exactly where we are at in our timeline and the implementation.
Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed our presentation of WebCAP, the Web Conferencing Acquisition Project at the Riverside County Office of Education.